Welcome to Jake and Trev Review Everything Live.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Trev. And here we are. It's, is it week 6 now?
Yeah, it's week 6. Sorry we got such a late start today. I mean, if you're seeing this on recording, you don't know that, but right now it's 10:38. We had some computer problems we were trying to get fixed.
The main rig is under attack by forces unknown, but we're doing our best to fend them off so we can bring the quality content every day.
All day, every day.
That's right. So this week, there's a few interesting news items that have cropped up.
Yeah, we would like to dedicate this episode to that's just on screen.
James Gandolfini.
Yeah, James Gandolfini passed away in Paris?
Italy. Somewhere in Italy today. And for those of you who somehow don't know who that is, James Gandolfini played Tony Soprano in the very famous HBO series, The Sopranos. A man who had helped to make mobsters cool for a whole new generation of media consumers. Mm-hmm. I've watched a good portion of the series. Loved him. Does a great job. Real nuanced character. Lots of layers.
Favorite James Gandolfini film. I think for me it's tied between The Mexican and The Last Castle. Because in The Last Castle he plays a hard-nosed Warren, prison Warren, for who's squaring off against the head rebel-rouser prisoner who's played by who's not Warren Beatty. Damn it, I don't remember.
You're the one who's seen it.
Yeah, The Last Castle. I'm going to look it up real quick. But the other one is The Mexican. He plays a hitman that is also gay. That comes up at one point, and it's kind of... It's one of the brighter points of the movie. The movie overall is just kind of crappy.
Unfortunately, I gotta admit, I'm not really familiar with his film work in particular.
It's Robert Redford.
But yeah, I'm not
it's
familiar with
either him or Paul Newman. I get them all mixed up.
Butch and Sundance. Tony Soprano. Sure, that's my favorite film role for him.
Not really.
Well, it's not TV.
It's HBO.
That's right.
You almost got me there.
Oh.
Alright, you want to throw down a... Oh, he was in... Wait, hold on.
That's... Go to his
Hold on, we're surfing USS IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
So, he was an 8mm...
Ah, yes, the man who wasn't there.
Oh, that's got
softly.
Yeah.
He's he definitely didn't just only do The Sopranos, but
apparently his last movie is going to be in 2014. Animal Rescue.
Oh, he was the CIA director in Zero Dark 30, and he played a guy in Incredible Burt Wonderstone. So working right up until the end.
Yeah, well,
God bless him. Tonight's broadcast in honor of James Gandolfini. You will be missed.
Don't stop believing. I don't know if that's disrespectful or not, but I don't really care. I'm sorry.
At least we got closure on it this time.
Yeah.
We know for sure.
He's dead.
Yikes.
Yakety schmackety no. Let's see. I'll start with my person of the week. If you want to do that,
we'll start with the person of the week this week.
We'll get into some other stuff. Person of the week. Hold on. I had it pulled up here too.
Is it that one?
Matt.
Is it the one next to it?
No, it's not.
I think it was Don Maddock.
Yeah, Don Maddock, Matrick, yeah. Whoever the mouthpiece of Microsoft's console division is. Surprise! If you haven't heard this today either,
big news.
Everything that was said about the DRM for the Xbox One has been repealed.
Out the door. Boom! They're done with it. It's been jettisoned. They have caved to the pressure of the fans in what I could only describe as an intelligent maneuver at this point.
Yeah, they kind of had to. I mean, I didn't think they were going to.
Sure.
Because
why would you?
Because they're a big company and they can say, well, this is our product.
This is how it's going to be.
But then,
you're going to love it.
We talked about this last week. The PS4 was just, everyone was like, we're going to get a PS4 and do all that, and then Xbox was probably like, oh shit, we got to change something or else we're
the hyperbole surrounding the PS4 was pretty out there. Like, I heard a lot of people referring to it as the people's console.
Well, it's very
and that Sony was jumping right on board with that. Some guys holding their fists up in the air, revolutionary style, with like a fucking DualShock controller in their hand.
Death to the proletariat.
Yeah, like fucking Che Guevara would have played a PS4. And I don't know. It's kind of
like like it's a room filled with people watching a Microsoft screen, and then somebody throws a PS4 into the total classic.
Mm-hmm.
Totally classic.
Mm-hmm.
But they changed their mind. They really needed to, and they did. So that's good. It's still. I'm glad that's out of the way, because what we really need to focus on is whether they're going to be putting out quality titles for the systems. Everyone's like, oh, well, I'm going to get a PS4 now because Xbox One's fucking up, and then now that Xbox One's not fucking up anymore, now we can actually sit back and say the actual reasons that we buy consoles, which is for games. So we can actually look through and see, well, what games are coming out for the PS4 for launch, or the the Xbox One for launch, and then figure it out from there. We don't have to sit here and pretend like like those are all the most important things about the consoles.
Well, let me ask you a question, Jake. Do you think that this was all a carefully orchestrated plan by the geniuses at Microsoft to first disappoint us and then play Santa Claus to the entire gaming community by giving us exactly what we wanted?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
I don't either.
It would be interesting if this is all poison for something else. But
like if that was their plan all along, to just kind of bait and switch us here to get us mad, and then like come across as the kind of people who
we listen to what you said.
Yeah, no.
Like they put out something that's so insidious, that's so ridiculous, and they're like, here, this is what it's going to be. And everyone's like, that? Are you kidding me? Blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, oh, well, we listened to your complaints, and we're going to change it because we listen to our consumer, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I guess I could kind of see it, but just considering how long they took in reacting, if they had said that a week after the press conference where the information came out about the DRM, then I could kind of see that. But they've taken so long to come to a decision that this was obviously not something they were, if it was a conspiracy theory, if we're wearing our tinfoil hats right now, I think that probably what would have happened was they would announce it, they would have the announcement to repeal it in their back pocket at the peak of outrage. Just so they could be like, oh, well, we're not going to do that. Actually, they would have announced it before the PS4 announced their stuff, I think. Or something.
Yeah, but then Sony would have been like, yeah, well, we got it right the first time, so...
Or maybe they put it out thinking that the PS4 was going to put it out, and then the PS4 realized that, oh, well, apparently this isn't going to work for either of us, and then said, oh, they released that 8-second video, how to share your games on the PS4.
That's the thing is that, for example, Mega 64 was made a video a ways back about what was to be looked forward to at the next, with the next generation of consoles, and it would appear for a long time that Sega.
Oh, they're still in the game.
Yeah, Sony. It was posited that Sony was, not going to be backwards compatible and DRM and almost everything that the Xbox One did say that they were going to do. And so I think there might be some credence to the Sony was going to do the exact same thing as Xbox right until Xbox announced it first and got slammed. Right. And then they quickly backpedaled as quickly as they could.
And then they announced their stuff and were like, we're not going to have...
We're the people's console.
And then Xbox is like, shit.
However, being the people's console has not stopped Sony from confirming that they're going to start requiring subscriptions for their online multiplayer service.
Which is one of their huge draws for their online multiplayer is that it's free. Because Xbox always has gold for playing online. So,
and I think that this should serve as a lesson when we let companies get away with certain things, then other people who could do the similar thing will do the similar thing.
Oh, yeah.
Xbox got away with having the subscription thing. PlayStation had some success with it, but not enough to really dominate the last generation of consoles like they had thought they were going to. Yeah. And so
that's any number of things.
Well, sure, but now, they're getting ready for the new one here. They're going to say, well, we see that you're all willing to pay Microsoft to play online, so how about you pay us to play online?
Yeah, I can see that.
However, I have heard some rumblings about doing away with a company like EA player passes and so forth from publishing companies and not from. Yeah, I don't see why I should pay an extra. Look, guys,
it's ridiculous that
you're gonna see it a lot. You're already seeing a lot, and you're gonna see it a lot more. More people are gonna want protections and things that make you have to check in. You're gonna see more people trying to offer to rent you something that you used to be able to own. And hold on, let me stop for a second.
Microtransactions.
Let me stop for a second. You know what? It's always been true that when you get software, you don't really own it. You have a usage thing. But your usage license on it was until your machine dies, basically, for the most part.
Or the disc that it's on, or whatever.
Or etc. Right. It was tied to that. It was tied to the physical object that you... Right.
You have the license for the game as long as you don't put that disc in the microwave.
Right. and now everyone wants...
It's hard to resist.
Now Microsoft, Adobe, and a number of other places are trying to lease their programs to you on a much shorter term. And I've heard some people say in some of the conversations that I've been having here that this is better for people because say somebody needs Photoshop and they don't need anything else, now they don't have to buy the Master Suite or whatever, and that's great. I'm just really concerned about pricing. There are going to be examples of people and companies doing it right. And when I say people should be on the lookout, of course I mean people should be on the lookout for companies doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Because if you don't call it out, if you buy into it, if you let it slide, then it's just going to keep moving forward. But as is the case with the Xbox One, there was a fairly unified front among gamers saying that, no.
There was enough of an...
I'm not on board.
And because everybody was outspoken about it, that's why they changed it. And if you're not outspoken about it enough, then it won't change. I feel like... And here's my thing, and this, the DRM for Diablo 3 and SimCity, those were from a game publisher. And also those games were inextricably tied to the servers. Mm-hmm. So you couldn't play either of those games, Diablo 3 or SimCity, without connecting to the server first. And that's where most of the game was. Like, for SimCity, you save your game on a server. So you have to load it up from the server and do a bunch of stuff on the server to play it on the server. So, there's not really a whole lot they could change for that. They probably have to send you a bunch of discs or something, or change something about it. But they're not going to change that. There was a huge SimCity outcry. They had to, drop the price or give away free copies or do whatever they had to. Diablo 3 is very similar. I don't know if they did anything to assuage the situation there, but it's been so long, I don't have it fresh in my memory.
Just, keep your eyes open, folks. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but, for an entire system, it's not... You can say that for a game, we're still going to sell copies. People are still going to want to play the new SimCity and Diablo 3 because they're huge franchises. These are huge steps to the future of those franchises. As far as a console goes, if they can't sell the console, then they can't sell the game. So they really needed to do it. So that's a thing. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Apparently, Deadpool, a.k.a. Wade Wilson, played by...
Nolan North?
Ryan Reynolds. Close. He is in the video game. But Ryan Reynolds was apparently, and I don't remember hearing about this, but it was apparently signed on for a Highlander reboot.
It may be my imagination. It may have came up at some point while we were editing the Highlander 2 video. But we were, of course, really checking into all things Highlander at the time.
Oh,
it may even be among the deleted scenes.
Because we do our research.
May even be among the deleted scenes. But yeah, no, I do recall having talked a little bit about that with someone that either looked like you and talked like you, or could have been him.
I'm not a clone, if that's what you're implying.
You seem awfully defensive about such a accusation that I never made.
No, I'm number 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Clone number 1.
No, there's no 0.
Oh. Okay. Anyway, Ryan Reynolds has backed out of the Highlander reboot. Hey guys,
there must be must have been
viewers. Do you think there needs to be a Highlander reboot? Why don't you respond back? Let us know what you think.
What do you guys think about a Highlander reboot?
I can think of a lot more egregious reboots that have come up.
Oh yeah, obviously we talked about Blade Runner last week.
So
I wasn't a huge fan of Tron. That wasn't really a reboot.
Yeah. Okay. So it doesn't personally offend me. I do really enjoy Highlander, of course.
Yeah. The
first one. They could do some pretty cool stuff with modern filmmaking and so forth, but it was
pretty. To be honest, it was pretty low. What special effects? The
quickening.
The quickening. That's it.
Yeah.
That's really That's it.
That's true.
If you look at the first quickening, every quickening after the first movie was basically just lightning and things exploding.
Okay. Well,
the one in the first movie had Ghostbuster fucking wraiths.
It's true.
Going.
Go back and watch it. You'll see.
It was so. If they wanted to do that for the reboot, that'd be cool. But as far as having period,
what about sword fighting?
It could be better choreographed.
There's a lot more complicated choreography going around in Hollywood these days. We could see some pretty sweet Highlander fights. I'd like to see sweet Highlander fights. But in the end, I think it'd be kind of unnecessary, personally.
Yeah, I think it's also kind of goes to the time period. We've talked about Highlander forever, but I really feel like it's more of a badass meets Harlequin novel kind of style. It's very romantic. The whole series is it's built on the main, McLeod being kind of hunky, and there's always a woman involved that, falls in love with him because he's old as shit and, he's lived through everything, usually a historian. And, so you get that kind of Harlequin feel where it's I've lived forever, hold me, and that kind of stuff. So I feel like that's really not something that would work really well in today's movie theaters. I don't really think there's a whole lot of fantasy sci-fi meets romance that doesn't have to do with teenagers. You don't really have the middle-aged set going out and watching.
I'd agree with that.
So
it's
mostly
they could introduce some bondage elements and make it into some 50 Shades of Grey mommy porn.
Be weird.
Ryan Reynolds could be on screen romancing some cougars. But no, he's out. And some people are saying, well, then that's good, right? Because actually, as according to the article, they also don't have a director right now. So
this is all news that comes straight to you from development hell.
Yeah. Now here's the thing: some people say, "Well, now there's no director and no actor. That's a good thing, right?"
Is there a script? Because if
there is a script,
this is like this is like where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Yeah. If you got to have the warrant and the crook, and if you don't have the actors, directors, the actors, director. And the writer, or a script,
then you got
nothing.
Okay, so
your
here's
movie
the thing.
Just ran off to Paris to steal the Eiffel Tower.
But see, apparently Ryan Reynolds was cast because the director wanted him, and then the director left, and they couldn't get another director for a long time, and then Ryan Reynolds is gone. But here's the thing. How many of the directors do you think kind of passed because they were going to be inheriting somebody else's star that they don't really want?
Or inheriting a script that sucks that they don't have any say to fix it.
Right. So, now at this point, whoever gets to be the director is now going to be cast their own boy in the role. So, there's this isn't necessarily at the end of the Highlander remake as we know it, it will probably, flourish once again here, but it may roil inside of development hell for some time. But here's an idea. Ryan Reynolds? Really?
I don't understand.
As the Highlander? The titular Highlander?
Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool as the chits. But as the Highlander, I don't get it. Nobody can laugh Christopher Lambert.
Can I posit an idea for the Highlander?
Is that okay with you guys? Can we?
You guys mind? What if you?
He's going to do it anyway.
What if you cast a Highlander as the Highlander, like someone from Scotland, even? I mean, they don't really have to be from the Highlands of Scotland, but like maybe if they just actually got a Scottish actor, like would that be so wrong? Would that be so wrong? I mean, the first time it was a Frenchman, and then they're going to cast for Ryan Reynolds.
Who's Duncan?
Duncan, I think, is French also.
Is he?
French Canadian.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Quebecois. Anyone want to correct us on that?
How many TV shows are shot in Canada?
All of the TV shows are shot in Canada.
Apparently.
Unless they're shot in New York, then they're shot in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, if it's set, well,
It's like I've been talking about a lot of TV shows with my roommate lately. Like, he really likes Psych, and apparently
Vancouver.
And apparently they drive a car in the show. Like, it's referenced. It's kind of like a running gag. It's called the Blueberry. It's like a tiny little like eco-friendly blue car thing, and they joke about it all the time. But they're supposed to be sent out. They're in California, and apparently they don't even make or allow that car into the United States. So I don't know, like, what the deal is with that. But I just think it's funny how many shows. I started watching. I watched the first couple episodes of a show called Lost Girl or Lost Girls. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a Supernatural meets The World of Darkness kind of deal. It's not bad. But I saw everything coming. Like, just a quick rundown.
He's already seen everything.
There's a girl. She's a succubus. She steals the life energy from people, and she has to sustain her own life. And then she finds out that actually she's a fae. She's part of a group of pre-human humans that have special abilities, like being a werewolf or like a will-o'-the-wisp or whatever. And she basically gets confronted by the light side and the dark side. And
before he can even watch it, he already seen everything.
I've seen everything. I've seen it all. And basically they're like, well, she's not, people are born into the light or dark side, so, she's an anomaly that she's just wandering around. She's like in her late 20s.
Wait, do you mean to imply that she might be the chosen one?
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
She has amnesia.
What?
No, well, she doesn't have amnesia.
She doesn't know
who her parents are. Because they dropped. It was like, they dropped her off.
Is one of the bad guys her father?
I don't know. I'm 2 episodes in, so okay. I have no idea. But it's very.
I bet you, her mother or father is one of the bad guys.
And one of the main characters is a werewolf on the light side who works for the police department. His partner is a banshee.
Werewolf police or regular police?
Regular police. Oh, werewolf police. Let's put that aside for now.
Werewolf Cop. Werewolf Cop. Have you seen this?
Oh my God! Go to YouTube. Is it on YouTube?
It is.
Go to YouTube and look up Werewolf Cop.
Yeah. There's
Wolf Cop.
Wolf Cop.
Wolf Cop. Just Wolf Cop.
Wolf Cop is the cop we both want and deserve.
Oh yeah.
Which makes him
need.
It's look, guys. I mean, have you ever heard of Maniac Cop?
I haven't seen that. I need to see
really?
I know.
The Chin?
Yeah.
Robert Zadar. Oh, jeez. No. Anyway, Maniac Cop, Samurai Cop, Vampire Cop. There's like a whole subgenre of where you add a RoboCop even technically could be considered
at the top of the pile.
It's the king of the mountain,
right?
Clearly, but where you take another modifier and put it in front of Cop.
Adrian Paul is from England.
Adrian Paul is from England.
Yes, but he is not Highlander.
Thank you, Tony.
Yes, thank you for that, Tony.
Yes. So yeah, there it is.
Yeah. So Wolf Cop. Is it coming out? Is it already out? I don't remember.
It's It's in like conceptualization at this point.
Well, they have like a
There's a
trailer.
loose trailer, and basically
It's
what it
awesome.
is it's just a proof of concept.
It's awesome.
like, what would you do with Werewolf Cop? This. I would do this. And it's generating buzz. They're active on Twitter, Facebook. There's kind of a big push right now.
Hashtag Wolf Cop.
Hashtag Wolf Cop. You should know this. Tweet this right now. Why aren't you tweeting? I'm disappointed in you, personally.
Tweet that J&TRE Review Everything told you all about Wolf Cop.
Yes.
And that.
Do that.
And Brainsplosion.
Give us credit for filling you in.
Discovering and telling.
I found Wolf Cop, so
we are the funnel for which all of your news, probably not. That's such a boast.
If you're coming to us for news,
yeah, I'm sorry.
It's the Daily Show all over again.
This
is a comedy program, right?
We process bits of the news.
Yes,
I wouldn't trust us for.
Trust
us, but don't
This gives me hope, though. I haven't seen a lot of the the blank dash cop genre for some time, and
there should be more of it. I want more.
I want Cyber Cop. I know that's basically just RoboCop again. I want Wolf Cop. I want Zombie Cop. Why not? Fuck it. Ghost Cop.
We'll hold off with the Zombie Cop. I think we're right at the cooldown period. For
Centaur Cop. Can we get a Centaur Cop? Centaur Cop.
Centaur Cop.
He is a cop who is also a centaur.
Oh my god, I want it.
He would run so fast. It's like he's a mounted officer, but he doesn't have to risk losing his mount. It's crazy.
Oh.
Gargoyle Cop, come on.
That shit would be awesome.
Shark Cop.
Shark Cop.
On the Discovery Channel.
Any cop ideas that you guys have?
During Shark Week.
Shark Week. Shark Cop. Shark Cop. He's part man, part shark. Oh, cop. Or something. I don't know. Oh. Yeah, that's some more news there.
Technocop. Technocop is not like RoboCop. He's
or
like
Cyber Cop.
He's or Cyber Cop. He's like a hacker cop. He's like a technomancer sort of cop.
Oh, okay. Where he's like, bam, computer on.
Karate Cop.
Karate Cop.
Oh man.
Ninja Cop.
Wait, no, stop. What's the hot martial art right now? What's the in martial art?
Macalara?
Sambo wrestling?
Sambo Cop?
Ooh,
that doesn't.
That doesn't sound good.
No, that doesn't. Let's not.
Whew. God damn it, Russia! Can you please rename your martial art?
Yeah, because it's.
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga Cop.
Krav Maga Cop.
Mossad Cop.
Yeah.
Wait, now here's one. This one's high concept, guys. Ready? Robber Cop.
Oh, what?
Oh, shit. There's only one man that this cop can't catch. Himself.
Yes. Robber Cop.
Robber Cop.
Yeah, let's do that.
So yeah, there's all that. Now, D&D.
Are we talking about D&D?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
D&D monsters.
Okay.
It was a question that I found somewhere on my Facebook page last week that we missed. I believe it was from one of the kiddos, but that's irrelevant. The long and short of it
Somebody
is...
asked a question about D&D monsters.
What's your favorite D&D monster? There's certainly a lot of stables. It's in some cases it's kind of like really asking what's your favorite Lord of the Rings monster, because so much of the monster manual is copy and pasted out of the token verse.
Well, yeah, that's
the whole setting. Really.
Obviously, all fantasy. If you want to dig that deep, all fantasy really originates from Lord of the Rings. There's a lot. Obviously, Lord of the Rings had its roots in mythology and folklore.
But I have a difficult time just narrowing it down to one personally. So
I got two in the front of my mind.
We'll talk about a couple of them here that we think are kind of awesome.
Throw one. I'll throw one.
Owlbear.
Owlbear?
Owlbears. Guys, now hold on. I know what you're thinking.
I just picture a bear with an owl face every time.
Well, that's what you get.
I know, it's terrifying.
See, when I've heard people say, what, like a little owl-sized bear? It's like, no, that's shit.
That's stupid. Why would you... Oh my God, tiny bears!
No. No, an owlbear is a terrifying, like, large Kodiak-sized bear with, but instead of having just bear claws at the end of his hands, his arms are basically owl wings, and he actually has terrifying.
Still looks ridiculous. I mean, they're tough to fight. They're terrifying. It looks like somebody was up really late, and they were just like, what else can I make for a monster? Can I? All right, I'm gonna make a list of animals. Roll the dice. Owl, bear. There it is. I mean, it's
many of the D&D creatures are like bugbears are kind of like more like goblins. They're like a subhuman race.
It's the same. Like bears are pretty scary. What can we put in front of bear?
Well, if it was a bugbear, I mean, when I think of that, I think of like a terrifying chitinous, orc-sized creature. It's got like that, the kind of see-through armor. Yeah.
Creepy.
Those looks gross.
That's creepy.
What about you? What's one of your favorites?
Mind Flayer.
Mind Flayer. Illithids. Yeah.
Well, they remind me of H.P. Lovecraft. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could say, obviously D&D is taken from Lord of the Rings, but I think a lot of their monsters are also taken from the mythos of Arkham and
I agree.
And the Arkham mythos. I think Mind Flayers are very much like a servant of Cthulhu kind of deal. They got creepy squid faces, and they, bust up your shit with magic and mind tricks.
Yeah, psionics to fucking control your ass. And make you their servant.
No,
if you got really pretty hands, they will psionically enslave you to massage the central brain of their like family group. That is the thing.
Wow. I don't remember that much about it.
If I remember correctly, they did that to Drizzt.
Drizzt Do'Urden?
In the Drizzt Do'Urden trilogy. I don't know if I can never know if I'm saying that right.
Drizzt Do'Urden?
Is it Drizzit or because I hear a lot of people say Drizzt. Drizzt it doesn't sound right. It doesn't flow off the tongue.
I gotta say that's one of the best. You try to come up with like fake names, and they always sound like alien or ridiculous or whatever. Mm-hmm. But that's a really weird Drizzt.
Drizzt. I was reading.
It's like 2 Z's, 3 Z's.
It's a couple. It's a couple. I read the Central Drizzt trilogy. And he goes on this super sweet odyssey as he tries to leave Drow society through the Underdark, which is, in a massive, expansive underground realm that, stretches on and on and on and on, possibly over the whole world. And, they come with him and some of his companions that he picks up along the way come across they get captured by Mind Flayer. And they get brought back to the Mind Flayer enclave, and Drizzt had pretty hands, and so his job was to massage the hive brain. It sounds so weird, but it was weird in my head.
Could you just really pound on that knot right near my cerebral cortex? I just, it's hard to just sit here and think.
Because that's all I do. That's all I gotta do.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah. So there's that. Gelatinous cubes.
Oh, so classic.
Gelatinous cubes is so classic. For those of you not in the know, it is a usually clear or slightly opaque or cloudy, gelatinous creature.
Well, you can't really. The whole thing is if you botch your perception roll, then you just whoops! I just got into this cube. My bad.
Yeah, and it hangs out in dungeons. And here's the thing: I really like it because it serves a logical purpose. If I'm not mistaken, and I may be, maybe it's just my inner writer trying to come up with a logical reason for all this. But my understanding is that they were magically created things whose job it was to kind of...
They're street sweepers. They're dungeon street sweepers.
Street sweepers, exactly.
Yeah.
So it kind of drags itself through the dungeon, and it picks up all the trash that's on the floor.
Yeah, which is like biological, like bones and flesh and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But then it holds on to like all the items and shit like that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing is that and the other part of it is like you were saying with holding on to the things. It's corrosive in nature.
Yeah, I mean.
So if you got stuck in there, it would eat you away. Like not unlike the Blob, for example.
Right.
And the really cool thing is that there would also be any GM who was doing this job should put some kind of sweet weapon on the interior of the gelatinous cube to tempt the players to fuck with it and try to get to the weapon.
You see a room down the hallway and there's some magic fucking sword floating in midair, and you immediately know that's a gelatinous cube. Don't touch that.
Don't touch that.
Don't touch that.
But yeah, I always thought that was a really cool monster.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not and the other thing is you can't really fight it. Like if you're a wizard, you can like throw spells, and
lightning bolts,
fire bolts, or whatever. And but yeah, if you're a fighter, it's like fuck, I can't get it. It's like cutting a giant brick of butter. You're not really doing anything, Mm-hmm. So it makes you think about how you can attack it. I mean, pretty much anything in D&D can be killed if it's hit enough. But for this one, it's like no, you got to use your noodle. Mm-hmm. And that's another cool thing about it. I have two more, just real quick. Beholder. It's the face of D&D. When you think of D&D monsters, you
totally
think of
classic. I mean, aside from dragons, of course you're thinking of dragons.
Right, it's Dungeons and Dragons, but beyond dragons. Beholder.
Basements and beholders.
Yeah. And there's not really a whole lot remarkable about them besides that. I mean, they see everything and report back to whatever's going on, But overall, yeah, they're pretty cool.
Floating eye, Hank.
Floating eye. Or walking eye.
It was walking eye.
But in this case, it's floating.
It is a floating.
But the other one, liches. I think liches are tough as shit. Liches are the monsters that they put on metal albums, just right on the front.
Liches, for those of you who don't know, are powerful evil spellcasters who seek to reach beyond the realm where they may die and instead become something that is undead so that it might live forever. Powerful in life, unstoppable in death. That is
terrifying.
A lich. Oh my, awesome. Totally awesome.
They're just mostly
skeleton-y. You know who's a lich? Who? Skeletor's a lich.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously he's a lich.
But yeah, they have a lot of powerful stuff. Their face is a skull. Skull faces are always scary. Mm-hmm. You don't want to mess with them. And there's layers of liches. If you're just starting out in D&D, first level character or something, somebody's like, "There's a lich there." It's like, oh fuck. Yeah. And if you get up to like 10 or 15, it's like, "Oh, we can deal with liches now, no problem."
Well, that's
like King Lich.
Fuck. This is an arch lich now. Oh yeah. God damn it!
Damn it! Ridiculous.
Or a greater lich.
It's crazy.
That was something that was always kind of cool. Also in the realm of things that were really metal, a lot of the early monster manuals in particular had long lists of fiends and demons and and so forth.
Yeah, they cut down a lot on the angelic demonic parts.
Yeah, because
of public outcry.
Yeah,
D&D is for Satanists, etc., etc.
And I like contending with some fucking demonic figures every once in a while.
Absolutely.
I want to come on, bud, test your might.
Bring it. Imps and demons.
That stuff's badass.
Even like angels, like
Azazel, the Archduke of Hell, and shit like that. It's like, shit, I didn't know they had a royalty system like that.
That's awesome. But yeah, after a while, they kind of shied away from it. They still have stuff like that.
Well,
it's very much outside. I mean, you're not going to see.
They don't put it in the core books anymore.
Right.
You have like the planar realms and so forth. Like the outer realms of So that's all going on there, but it's less in the forefront. But I used to really enjoy that.
I mean, the Dungeon Master's Guide from first edition it was a statue, but it was definitely like a demon. He was like red, had horns, stuff like that. All the player characters were like up on him, like shooting arrows and magic and shit. Mm-hmm. It was sweet.
Manticores are pretty sweet.
Are they like the scorpion lion?
Yeah,
with wings.
Well, I mean, it's kind of in that like griffin, chimeral family, of
where it's like, let's get
lions are badass. How do we make lions more badass?
Give them a scorpion tail
and give them wings. Give them fucking serpent dangling. Whatever. I
like Magic the Gathering's take on that. The Manticore.
Yes,
that was funny.
Magic the Gathering. It's still running strong.
God, we are showing our nerds so hard
just
right
not
now.
with me.
Yeah, no, we stopped playing Magic a long time ago.
Well, since we don't have any questions to ask...
well, we didn't ask them to ask questions. Let's ask them to...
That's irrelevant, Jake. I want to play the blame squarely on them.
Oh. I'm with you guys. Let's team up. This guy right here. No, I'm just fucking with you. It's a trick! I just double-crossed you!
Yes, now you've fallen right into our hands. But yeah, no, D&D, pretty sweet game. If you never tried it, give it a try, guys. Good stuff.
Here we go. I really don't like comedy horror. It ends up just being comedy. Armageddon Darkness, for example. Not really a question, but we can elaborate on that. I like comedy horror. I think that with the problem...
It's hard to do right.
Horror itself, just straight up horror, is very hard to do. It's harder to do right than horror comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you talk about... What's the scariest movie you've ever seen, Trev? That was like, that you can still watch and be scared by, or that you were scared by originally? Like, what's a really...
The Shining?
The Shining, okay. I mean, that was a tense, scary movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there wasn't a lot of gore. I mean, there wasn't really a slasher. I mean, kinda, but in the last... It was more like cerebral. I want to say the last movie that the most recent movie that came out that scared me was The Ring. And I know that's probably sounds stupid to you, but it really was. Like, Hold
on, I'm hijacking this conversation. Okay, so I have a question. Furries, when did this become a thing? I've been aware of...
Wow,
No, stop.
Completely?
This is relevant.
Okay,
Wait for it.
Okay.
I've been aware of this thing, I'm sure you have for quite some time, but... I wonder what time the community of furry fetishists and enthusiasts, because some of them aren't about it for the sex, they just like to dress up, whatever. But when do you think it actually took off? Because there is anecdotal evidence in The Shining that it at least existed as far back as that movie.
Oh, wow.
There is the guy in the dog suit that is totally blowing that guy. That's what.
I think he was helping him tie his shoes.
Really?
No. No, it's...
There's your smoking gun. That's the beginning of the...
Beginning of furries?
Mm-hmm.
Right there?
That community, sure.
I can do that. But yeah, the horror is hard to do.
You may resume driving, sir.
Fire in the Sky? Fire in the Sky wasn't bad. I don't remember much about it. Wasn't super impressed.
Hey, you know what was a horror movie that was supposed to be also a comedy movie?
Also, wasn't Fire in the Sky an alien movie? More like a abduction?
Well, no, isn't an alien movie basically just a horror movie in disguise?
Yeah, okay. I'll give Fire in the Sky that. But yeah, the horror is really a hard genre to do.
Movies in disguise.
You have to root through the collective nightmares of your audience and hold it up to them and be like, how about this? Does this scare you? So that's tough. But if you throw in like Splatstick, I like Splatstick, like Dead Alive, or obviously Army of Darkness. They combine those elements. So it's like, here's a scary thing, but we're going to ease the tension with
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil was awesome. Cabin in the Woods also. Mm-hmm. They're all... Both of those are more like satire on the genre, though.
Sure,
I think they take
absolutely.
because, jokes are real now.
It's true,
I'm sure we brought that up before Red Letter Media did a review of something, and at one point they're like, jokes are real. It's hard to do, satire now because... But that's, Cabin in the Woods was genuinely scary on its own, but it was also very funny in that they took the whole genre and... The whole genre of horror, it wasn't just slashers, it was monsters and ghosts and, all that stuff, and just kind of piled them into that movie. What was the other one called? Oh, Tucker and Dale. You said Tucker and Dale. Yeah, that's a send-up, too, where it's like, we're going out to the cabin in the woods, and, there's obviously rednecks trying to kill us, but the rednecks are like, we're not. We're just dumb.
These kids are trying to kill themselves on our property.
Yeah, like they're just accidentally murdering themselves right and left.
Here's an example of a horror comedy that did not work really at all.
What's that?
Vampire in Brooklyn, the Eddie Murphy vehicle.
Oh God, that was terrible. That's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
And the trailers really played up the comedy. I mean, I was kind of young but I remember that it looked like, it's Eddie Murphy's comedy. He's a vampire, and he's gonna be sassy.
Come into the theater and laugh your butt off.
Mm-hmm. No,
it was super serious. Too serious.
And that's the problem.
I haven't seen it in a while. I remember watching it.
I don't recall him doing particularly well, I guess. I mean, he didn't do like terribly. And here's the thing, it's like, I think every comedic actor at some point says to themselves, I'm tired of everyone telling me how funny I am. I need people to be taken seriously. Yeah, I need to be taken seriously as a dramatic actor, dude. And, it can't always be that way.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it's a bumpy road. I mean, you have, like, Robin Williams has had a bumpy career as being serious dude.
Some of his, like, What Dreams May Come, that shit's a tearjerker, man.
Or when he plays the creepy guy in 1 Hour Photo.
Yeah.
That was really good. He pulled a really good
Insomnia?
Also Insomnia. Yeah, he's played the bad guy, he plays the serious guy.
So, I mean...
Same with Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey has...
Kind of hit and miss, though.
Yeah.
Kind of hit and miss.
I like The Majestic. You can, yell at me for that, but it wasn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously The Truman Show was pretty good. He's kind of funny in that, but it's also kind of serious,
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't very comedy focused at all, and in fact, the comedy focus was coming from other characters interacting with him.
With Dracula?
Yeah, Blackula.
Blackula, Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy killer.
As the Brooklyn vampire.
The titular Brooklyn vampire.
A vampire who is in Brooklyn.
That's right. And if they had tried to...
take Jim Carrey, for example. Absolutely.
Yeah, if they had tried to play that movie up as a serious movie off the get-go, but they cast Eddie Murphy in it. It's a catch-22. Audiences have that certain expectation, and, it's kind of like on a different scale entirely because what he does is different. Like Robert Rodriguez, for example, like let's just pretend you never watched the trailers for anything, right? And you were a parent and you took your kids to see Spy Kids and Spy Kids 2 and Shark Boy and Lava Girl. And then you hear there's a new Robert Rodriguez movie coming. It's called Planet Terror.
Oh, well, it must be like a fun romp for kids.
Right. Wrong!
You are so wrong.
Yeah, no, Robert Rodriguez, I don't know how. That's so weird.
That he can jump between genres?
Yeah.
I feel, and this is probably...
it's like hard R, gory...
PG. Straight hard, PG. Well,
PG.
no, I think what it is that he has kids, so he makes kids' movies, and then those kids' movies actually, I feel like he's kind of like the superhero of movies, where during the day he's a mild-mannered director that makes movies for kids, but at night he fucking
makes balls to the wall
at
fucking,
you.
Yeah,
just awesome effects and explosions and titties and motorcycles and gangs and machetes and whatever, Man
on the Moon, Ashley, is one of my favorites.
Trevor loves...
I do really enjoy Andy Kaufman. He's
and REM.
REM.
They throw both of those things at you.
Right at me. And it wasn't fair. It was really stacking the deck. I didn't stand a chance.
Did you make this movie for me? Is that?
They did. Actually, I know. By the way, God damn it, I'm such a bad fan. I don't even remember what the name of the book is anymore. But Bob Zamuda wrote a biography about Andy Kaufman, and and it's obviously told through his eyes as being his arguably closest friend and everything. And it's an interesting read if you're interested in the story of Andy Kaufman. There's
Find
lots
out the name of the book, not from this guy.
I'll be right back, guys.
Let me check it. I'll check this.
No, I'm getting it. It's in the shelf.
No, I'm gonna look it up.
No.
You better hurry up then.
Oh no.
Wait, hold on.
Andy Kaufman revealed. Best friend tells all.
Really, that's the name of the book?
Yes.
Oh, that's the one that's Ben.
It's
it's all bathroomy. Don't put that near me.
Andy Kaufman revealed. No, it's not really bathroomy. He's just on the.
Didn't that dude used to like hang out in your bathroom?
No, it did not hang out in my bathroom.
All right.
I may have left it in there once or twice when I was reading it in the morning. Yeah, I read on the cam. What's it to you?
Don't put your books in the bathroom. Don't leave your books and take them in with you. Take them out with you.
Oh my God! Yes, I know.
Bathroomy books.
It's the standard procedure. It was.
They get all steamy from the shower.
Okay, look, it was an exception and not a rule. Okay.
It's gross. Don't do it. Here's a question for you, audience. Do you let your books get bathroomy?
Is there any book that you just keep in the bathroom while you're reading it?
I guess if you specifically put a book in the bathroom to be a bathroom book, that's fine. But
Hey, as long as we're telling, stories of things that the other one did a long time ago, that was kind of.
I'm just saying, it's just.
Hey guys, let me ask you a question. If you sprinkled cheese accidentally on the floor while you were making like a quesadilla or something, would you pick it up?
I talk about bathroomy books. It's just
Or would you shuffle it into the register on the floor?
Yes.
I mean, it's like a hole in the floor, so cheese goes down there, right?
It was like 13 years ago.
It was 13 years ago, folks. Jake did that at my parents' house like a jerk. And
it was a negligible amount of cheese. And I didn't feel like
negligible amount of cheese in the register.
It wasn't even enough to.
Hey, I mean.
He kicks on. Do I smell cheese? Nope. Because it was just like two pieces, just tiny little shreds.
Mm-hmm. So that's
negligible.
That's fine. So
I need to defend myself.
For the last 13 years, I carefully go to Jacob's house every once in a while and leave some kind of dairy product in some obtuse place where he won't find it right away.
I haven't found it because it was probably a negligible amount.
Well, no, it's I actually found it again later. No, anyway.
And then found
I leave my books in the bathroom sometimes, and that gives me bathroomy books. It's true.
Okay. Hey, I shuffle cheese in the bins.
It's true. Fucking animal.
You savage.
In gaming news, folks, we almost played Illuminati the other day.
We were so close. We had the cards out of the box, and then we played Lord of the Fries instead. Cheap ass games. I don't know if they're still around. I'm curious to know if they. I'm sure they went through so many editions.
You look that up. I'll tell the folks.
Okay.
In case you don't know, guys, Cheap Ass Games is exactly what it sounds like. There's a company who makes games that are cheap ass, and the way that they're cheap ass is not in the quality of the game itself in terms of how fun it is to play. The cheap assness comes from that they used to make things in terms of material as cheaply as possible. So rather than getting like a hard box with plastic pieces and everything, they would instead sell like envelopes basically with paper parts, and they wouldn't give you dice because they assumed surely you have dice yourself and stuff like that. They cut down the production cost a little bit.
Ooh. If you go to the cheapass.com/games, and they have a list of games, they have free to print games here, which is pretty interesting. So that's how cheap ass they are. They're so cheap ass that they have templates for games that you can print out and play
for free.
Yeah, no, they made some pretty quality games.
Now these days,
some of them.
Now these days, Cheap Ass Games does make games themselves, like
box versions.
Boxes.
A lot of their earlier copies of games, like Give Me the Brain. Give Me the Brain is like a card game that you use dice for, and originally it was printed off on just like pink cards that came in like an envelope that they printed on, and really cheap. I mean, most of Cheap Ass Games, like their mission statement is, hey, you have board games. You have board games, you have pieces for the board games, you have, like, if you need a sand timer, that's probably in a game that you own, like Pictionary or,
Categories.
Whatever. You have a buzzer, you have all this stuff already in your big box board game. So we will give you a game that we can print for really cheap. I mean, I think I bought Give Me the Brain at Gen Con in 2003, or wait, no, 2001. It was 2001. I bought Give Me the Brain for like $3. that was it. And I still have it, and I still play it because it was awesome.
Is that your favorite cheap-ass game, Jake?
There are too many. Like, I wouldn't...
My favorite cheap-ass game,
I'll pick
while Jake thinks about it.
While I waffle.
You are. Are you Belgian? No, my favorite cheap-ass game was Kill Dr. Lucky. Yeah. And Kill Dr. Lucky is a really fun game, but it's also very... Yes, it's very familiar. It's Clue in reverse. Instead of trying to figure out who does kill the host of the mansion party, you will try to follow the host of the mansion party throughout the mansion and try to get into a room alone with him with an object you can kill him with. Same thing. I remember when I first played that, it was all like printed like, cheaply on cheap, like kind of flimsy paper and everything. And then, hey, you have pennies or something. If you need counters, just use pennies, dummy. They kind of like tried to encourage you to set your mind free and not just use things for what their intended purpose was. Yeah. Part of their mission statement.
Yeah. So cheapassgames.com, check that out.
Yeah, free-play games.
Tone Man says, "What's your favorite fictitious band and why?" I'll field this first. It has to be one of three. I'm not trying to stifle your steez.
I'm just gonna go ahead and hijack this conversation again real quick.
Oh my God, the second time.
I want everyone to know I'm not yawning because I'm bored with what Jake's talking about.
Too much coffee.
We've been drinking lots of coffee and working very hard on the Man of Steel review.
Oh God, that
is coming forthwith. It's coming forthwith.
So happy for you. We want it.
Yeah.
And you will get.
You will get soon. And so I'm actually very tired because of that and the attempts to get this fixed so we can get it to you. So I'm not bored. I'm very happy to be here. I'm just sleepy, so sleepy. Yeah. Sleepy Trevor. But anyway, you can get back in the car.
Okay. My three fictitious bands that I can think of off the top of my head right now. Wild Stallions, obviously. Bill and Ted. Probably from the second movie because, they had aliens and death. So, and robo versions of themselves. That shit was awesome. I'd have to go with that as my favorite fictitious band. Second favorite fictitious band, probably Spinal Tap. I mean, with such great songs as Stonehenge, Lick My Love Pump, Give Me Some Money. They have actual songs, so that's pretty cool. I mean, not that the Wild Stallions didn't, but
well, they Kiss made their song.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did they?
Well, the one they played in the second one, like God gave rock and roll to you. That's Kiss.
Gave rock and roll to you. Yeah. Third favorite would have to be Metalocalypse. Or Deathlock from Metalocalypse. Fourth favorite would have to be 3 Armed Sally. That's a new recent one, so they haven't really been included in a whole lot. Besides John dies at the end, it's John's band, and apparently they're actually releasing music. I haven't heard a whole lot of it beyond the movie, but.
This is one I'm going to wish I had some time to think about, that I had the time to review the question. No, I'm just fucking with you. Thanks, Tom. My favorite, at this moment, my favorite fictional band is probably either Mordecai and the Rigby's.
Oh, yeah.
From Regular Show.
What was that song?
Fuck if I know. But also from a cartoon, The Beats.
Oh yeah,
banging
on a trash can. No, that was Doug.
That was Doug's band.
Damn it.
No, they're I need more allowance.
Oh yeah, Killer Tofu.
And also Killer Tofu, yeah.
E-I-E-I-E-O, Killer Tofu. Hell yeah.
Yeah. The Beats. They were the biggest thing. Party Tonight is the song from...
Yeah, let's play it right now.
We're going to listen to it when we finish the show here.
We're going to listen to it fucking right now. Just playing a little bit of Mordecai and the Rigby's.
Scales.
Yeah, this is Scales. We got like 2 minutes left, so let's just...
Yeah, so, I mean, on that note, gang, if you're not watching regular show, you may be missing out on some primo comedy.
The thing about regular show is that I think that it's built for us. Same with Adventure Time. I feel like it's got such simple elements that it's for kids, but all of the references and things that they do in the show have a lot of like Adventure Time's all D&D. Adventure Time is the kids' version of D&D.
You heard it here first.
And regular show is like an 80s movie with like weird things instead of people. You got a blue jay and a raccoon.
And the guy who they work for was a gumball machine, and there's a maintenance man who's a yeti, and
a ghost.
A high five ghost specifically.
Shit.
Alright.
But yeah, they they have an episode where the arcade machines that they're playing with become sentient, and they have to fight it with their arcade playing powers. And one where there's like 80s guy, or they get stuck in the 80s after prank calling someone on a really old cellular telephone. Everything about the show is just hallmarked from the 80s.
Yeah, it's definitely a product of its times, and again, maybe you have to be within a few years of our age to really feel like it's for you.
Yeah.
But it's real good stuff. If we left out anyone, your favorite fictional band, feel free to leave something in the comments. Of course, Jake and Trev review everything. We're at Facebook, we're at YouTube, we're at blip.tv.
We're at Blip, which is where our episode's going to be. That's very important.
Yes.
The next episode of Superman, Man of Steel review is going to be on Blip.
Okay,
Blip.tv/Jake and Trev review everything.
Remember, guys, number one, we have the live show here, of course. That's going to continue being on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you miss one of the live episodes and you want to check it out,
go straight to the YouTube.
Go to YouTube. We have it there. And if you want the regular, the real, the Jake and Trev review everything, not live, with all the bells and whistles.
Oh, yeah.
Then you got to go to Blip.
We got the dingiest bells.
That's where it's going.
And the tweetiest whistles.
So check that. As soon as we're finished the broadcast here, we're going to
stick around.
We're going to stick around a little bit. We're going to give it the old college try to get this thing exporting. Now that everything seems to be stable.
Yeah, we're gonna make it good for you.
Hopefully, when you awaken fresh and refreshed tomorrow morning, a tasty and hot Jacob and Trev or review everything.
Gem and the holograms, hell yeah.
It'll be there.
All right. So for Jake and Trev review everything, I'm Jake.
I'm Trev.
And thanks for watching. Ka-chow!